All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Let me just turn volume down, although I swear I did. I don't know why it's trying to tell me I haven't. As you can see here, this is our last week's rocks that we did for summer rocks. That was quite fun. Let me alert everybody that we're doing this. Gotta post it to my private page and then get back so that I can see all your lovely comments, questions, concerns, etc. I hope that's out of the way enough. I'm gonna say yes, it is. Okay. Hi, everybody. Whew. This week has been crazy. So, we're all here in America getting ready for the 4th of July, which is tomorrow. So I figured I would do 4th of July rocks. To start off, I would like to thank my sponsors, Chris, Marisol, Jared, Bobby, Elizabeth, Marilyn, and of course my mom. If you'd like to become a sponsor and help keep this class free, the information is in our description. We also have an Amazon list, which we sometimes give out so that if you would like to donate that way, you can. And if you would like that, please feel free to message us and we will send you that link. So for today, we are going to do 4th of July rocks. I am going to be utilizing glitter today, which I didn't tell anybody about because it was sort of a last minute thing that I thought about. So if you don't have glitter, don't worry. It's not going to make or break your design. Okay, so I got this really cool little spinny thing. And what I did was I got these. Our sponsor, Bobby, sent these from our Amazon list. And these are just sort of Lazy Susan, like mini cupcake Lazy Susans. And what I did was I glued some non-slip drawer padding on the bottom so that it'll stick to the drop cloth. And then I did a cardboard piece that's just a side of an Amazon box. And then another piece to hold the rock there so it doesn't fly off when I'm spinning it. But I'm going to see how well this works. We're gonna see about this. Okay, so for those of you who have not yet done your base coats, we're going to start with some base coating. We're going to base coat all of our rocks white. Even though not all of our rocks will be white, it's easier and it makes the colors pop more to do them in a white. I think I'm going to use a bigger brush actually. I'm going to use this bad boy. This is a size 12 flat brush by Liquitex Basics. Right, all my paint's behind me. This is going to confuse me, I can tell already. I'm used to having my paints on the table. Okay, so we're going to get our brush just a little wet, just to kind of assist. I know normally I don't wet my brush, but I don't know. It's been one of those days, I guess. I will warn you, all of my example rocks that I will show you as we do them have already been sealed, mostly because I included glitter, and I didn't want glitter everywhere if I could avoid it. I mean, you can't really stop glitter from going everywhere, but I tried anyway. Alright, so we have one. I hope everybody had a great week. Does anybody have really cool plans for the 4th of July? I know we can't really go out or do anything, but, you know, hanging out by the pool or something. I plan to spend some family time with my mom, because I've been quarantined with her the entire time, so we're pretty safe. Alright, so we're just going to keep doing all these rocks. And try to decide on what side you want to paint. See how this side has like a bunch of like holes? So I'm going to paint on this side, because that way it's less likely to mess it up. Ooh, fireworks. I love fireworks. My neighbors and I used to do fireworks stuff outside, but then my neighbors moved away and it was really sad. But we used to have a lot of fun shooting off fireworks. I mean, it's a good social distance thing, right? Like, if everybody just came out with their lawn chairs, sat at the end of their own driveway, and we could all, like, just set off fireworks and have fun. I think that'd be really cool. Normally my neighborhood puts on a 4th of July parade, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that this year. I'm going to paint 5 rocks white. I don't know if we'll get to all 5 rocks, but I'm optimistic. So, we'll see. I will say the only problem with adding water to your initial rocks is that then it takes forever to dry. So this may take a while to dry. Alright, so now we're going to rinse off our brushes. And we want to have a paper towel to be able to make sure it's dry and that there's no more. Oh. Cat, do you mind? I have a cat next to me and she is trying to attack the end of my brush because she wants attention. You don't need attention that badly. Calm down. Alright, so once that's dry, we can put it up. With these, you want to make sure like your shapes are still good. With most brushes, actually, if they have like the round brush, or if you have specific brushes, I always suggest keeping them. And see how I did that from this end instead of over here? It's to keep the bristles all going one way, so it keeps them a little safer. Now I gotta put it back in my stand. Okay, so we have our white done. I should add more white to this. It's running low. Now, if you guessed what colors you need, you'd probably guess right. We're going to be using red, white, and blue, but we will be using also a variation on blue for one of ours. Which you can, or you don't have to. And like I said, I'm planning on using some glitter. I'm using super, super fine glitter. So you really want to make sure that nothing around is going to have a problem in case it gets in. So like if you have electronics, be careful, because super fine glitter can really destroy electronics. No, I have not found that out the hard way, but I do know people who have. Okay, so I doubt this is dry. Yeah, that's still really wet. Is this one dry? It's closer. I guess we'll start on the second one and then go back to the first one. Okay. I don't know why these are taking... Well, I do know why they're taking forever to dry. It's the water I added, but, whatever. Okay, so this one is going to look like this. This is the example. Speaking of fireworks. So we're going to need my brilliant red, some darker blues, the primary blue and titanium white. And you can use variations, like here I have a light blue right here, but you can't really tell, and that's why I've decided to just do dark blues on top instead, so it's not so much of the white coloration. And I don't know if you can tell that there's like super amounts of glitter on this, but I glittered it within an inch of its life, I swear. You can use a blow dryer, but the problem is when you are on camera and you use a blow dryer, the sound creates really bad feedback loops for y'all, and I really don't want to do that for you. And since I don't have an assistant to take them out of the room, blow dry them, and bring them back, that happens to just be sort of my own fault. I mean, some of them are already pretty dry. As you can see, I'm like running my hands over them, and they're fine. It's just that one is super wet because I had put water on it at first, so it does cause issues. So I don't know if you can see the glitter or not. Let me know, because, you know, I'm not really watching. Because I find I get distracted if I watch the video while doing this, because then I'm like, oh, what's going on? Because there's such a lag between what I'm saying and what you're seeing. So I don't know if maybe if I bring it closer, you can kind of see the glitter. I don't know. It's really pretty rock. I really like how it turned out, actually. And I'm not always fond of my rocks, so there's that. So I'm going to take these, move these over. So first thing first, yeah, it's good. We're going to take our primary blue. Ooh, there's some dry pieces. Get those off. And we're going to take our brush. Can you tell I've used this for blue today? Problem with white bristle brushes. They do not stay white very long. Alright, so we're going to take our blue. We're just going to color it. See, it needs a little water. I don't know why my paints are like, they're not drying necessarily. I don't know what's going on with my paints. It's being weird. Maybe I'm just not using enough of the paint, which it could be. And you want to do this very thin coat because you're going to be doing colors over it, especially the white is going to be the most difficult. So you want to do this very thin. Oops, I just went through the base coat. The problems with using water is sometimes that happens, but that's okay. It'll be fine. I'll just do a second coat, and then you won't be able to tell. Okay, so we'll come back to this one once that has fully dried. I like how I have this thing so that I can do this, and yet I'm still touching it and getting my hands all dirty. That's my life. In a handbag, right there. Okay, so is this dry yet? No, really? It's still not dry. There, whatever. Okay, well, I guess we're going to save the easy one for last. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to move on to this one, which is really cute. I will suggest you get a pencil if you are not good at kind of eyeballing a heart shape. I am going to just go ahead and paint and hope for the best. So I'm going to take my darker blue, which also has stuff in it, with a very fine liner. This is my 20/0 fine tip liner. And I'm just going to, oops, heart shape. On one end. That is not wide enough. I can tell you right now that's not wide enough. We'll make it work. So see how I kind of made it so that it looks like there's a heart, but you can't really tell? Yeah. That's sort of what you're going for right now. Good job. Touch it. That seems smart. Now remember with these, you want to just sort of put your brush in and then pull through so that you're not ruining your fine liner. Excuse me. And then I'm going to take my red. And just sort of create a swirl pattern. I know this one's probably pretty difficult. I didn't intend to start with the difficult one, but it is what it is. Oh, yay! I'm so glad to hear when I inspire others to do this. It's so fun. And it's really therapeutic. I find, like, I can just kind of zone out, which is sometimes why I forget to talk. It's because I've just zoned into painting my rocks, and it calms me down. There used to be a place at the local mall that I used to go to that you could paint, like, plaster things. And I know they still exist, like, there's other ones that are like that. But I used to go there when I'd get angry. And that was my way of kind of calming down. And it was really nice to be able to just go in, choose something, and just lose myself to painting. I find it slows your brain down a little bit and helps you focus. And I'm ADD, so anything to help me focus is good. Okay, and then I just want to thicken this line a little bit. Okay, like it. Now if you want, this one I did first line, second line, and then third line. You can do first and third line first, if you would like, so that way you kind of know exactly how much room to have. Because, like, I want it to go here at the very least. So having it spiral out. And be mindful of the way your brush moves. I can't stress that one enough. It's really easy to have a fine liner go all sorts of ways you don't want, and then you get paint everywhere. And so less is more with your brush. For this part. Oh my goodness, you know what I just realized? Oh, sorry. I do not have my charger in my phone. I don't need y'all to end up disappearing on me. So let me real quick put that in and set the cord up so that it's out of the way. I'm so sorry. I knew there was something I was forgetting and I couldn't remember what it was. I'm used to having the cord in my mouth. It's the only reason I noticed. Because when I talk, like, the cord is right in my face. Normally. The behind the scenes look at how I film. And don't worry if they're perfectly even lines. I shouldn't be, because I only have so much time to teach you all of these, and I'm going to try to get all of them. I'm still touching it instead of the thing. It's going to take some getting used to. I can tell. There we go. That's kind of cute. That kind of works. There. Okay. Now rinse off your brush from the red. With fine liners, you definitely want to rinse off quickly because it does not take long for them to dry the color on. So, it's a big thing. Okay. Now, if you want, you can paint your star now to, like, outline it in the blue. I find it's easier to do it after. My hand shakes a lot too. It's just that I've kind of learned how to, like, shake in certain places. So, like, if you'll watch, like, this finger will, like, almost always be shaking when I'm doing the exact fine lines. I always suggest if your hand shakes, just get a bigger rock. Do a bigger design. It makes it a lot easier. Then it's not such a fine line. And that just happens to be simple. And I have some huge rocks, actually. Like, some of my rocks are massive. I don't have any near me, really? Of course not. I don't have any of those up here. But whatever. I have some that are, like, this big. So if you did this tiny design on a big rock, it would be a lot easier on you. Okay. Now we go back to our blue. And I'm using a darker blue. You can use a lighter blue. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't even have to really be blue. But as we are doing this for the 4th of July, I figured keep it kind of patriotic colors, right? So we got our blue. This is not a brush I would recommend using for this. If you have shaky hands, for sure. Like, I shouldn't be using this brush for this, or whatever. I'm going to. But I don't know if you can tell, I'm barely putting my brush on this to fill this in. Like, I mean, barely. Like, there's so little paint on this. And you want to always be mindful of, like, where your paint is on your brush so that it doesn't go everywhere. Sorry, zoning out again. I can tell I'm, like, not talking. Of course, it's, like, really bad because then I stress out about not talking, and then I'm like, oh, I need to talk about a lot. Hold on. I have fun facts. This is why I pull them up, is so that when I freak out and say, oh, I'm not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing, which is talking, I have fun facts to fill the time. Like, apparently, Americans will enjoy, like, 150 million hot dogs during the 4th of July, which is a bit ridiculous. And apparently, like, 7 billion are expected to be eaten during summer season from Memorial Day to Labor Day. That's a lot of hot dogs. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what do y'all normally eat on the 4th of July? Like, do y'all eat hot dogs and hamburgers, or what? I'd like to know. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving like half my brush filled with paint and half my brush not filled with paint so that I can pull the color as need be away from certain spots. If that makes sense. Whee! Okay. So while that one dries, can we finally do the first one? Yay, we can finally do the first one. It's just going to be this super simple one. Yay, super simple. This is so simple. I use markers for it usually, but I will use a pencil or pen, or not a pen, brush, I suppose. So we're using blue and red. You can choose your blue. I guess I'm just going to use this one because it's already open. And then my red. So kind of decide like where you want your words. If you want to do words, you don't have to do words. I'm just going to do words. These don't have to be perfect lines. Lord knows mine will not be perfect. So what I'm just doing is I'm just choosing random spots. And then I'm like working them outwards. See how like messed up that's getting? It's fine. If you have pen, I suggest doing it in a pen. It's just way faster and easier. I would suggest always going like this way with your brush. I should have also used a thinner brush, but whatever. Just to keep all the tapering even. And you can do as many as, or as little as you want in each color. That's fine. I'm going to use another. No, this is too big. I have to use my fineliner again. Fun stuff. I need to shave that one. Alright, so back to this. Do blue. Ooh, chicken's always good. I might have chicken tomorrow. That sounds like a good idea. Like fried chicken. And you're not wrong. If there's no bun, you can eat more. In fact, typically at like hot dog tournaments, they'll like take the buns off and then like shove them in water and then eat them faster so that they're already wet, so like your body doesn't take the time to wet them, I guess. It's weird. It's cool, but it's kind of weird. Ooh, I got way too much paint on this, but whatever. See how much better it was to use this without the bigger brush? Like using the smaller brush just works better. Wipe off my brush so that the red doesn't get turned to purple. Something exciting did happen this week. Facebook now will allow me to do videos, like private classes for like monetary or whatever. And I was like, that's nifty. I might do like advanced classes, so like much more advanced art pieces. But I don't know yet. It just sort of depends. It also depends on like how the whole corona thing happens to go. Because you never know. So right now I'm just making like little dots and stuff inside of it. Hi, cat. Another cat is here, needing attention. Alright, and then for the bottom, I can write this in liner, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a pen to save time so that we can get, hopefully, to the rest of them. So I'm going to use my Lotus Art Supply paint markers in red and blue. And just write Happy 4th of July. My red is starting to go out. I need to order more of these pens. What I'll sometimes do is I'll make like a well of it on my tablecloth. There you go. Ta-da! We've done that one. Yay! Okay, on to this one. Also very, very easy. Actually, I'm going to save this one for the last one because it's probably going to be the fastest one. Okay, back to this one. So we're going to add the white dot now, which, yeah, that's dry enough. So I need to get those and close them. And go back to my fine liner just because it's the easiest one. You can also use a white marker if you have one. And kind of decide like how big do you want your star. I wish all of them were this easy with the star. Some of them are not, I will warn you now. Ta-da! Cute, right? Okay. Rinse off that brush. And onto this one, which is going to look like this. Okay, so this one looks difficult, isn't difficult. I actually did this on my face. This was a face painting technique I did back when I worked at the Y, and it was really, really simple. It's definitely not as hard as it looks like it is. I promise. Okay, so you're gonna want like this size brush or equivalent, and this is a size 4, but you can do whatever. You're gonna need a fine liner and then something a little bit more robust for the bigger areas of paint. So I'm gonna use this, which does not, which is a 4 flat. So, and then grab your colors and do what you need to do, you know? Fill it in. Actually, I think I'm going to use a round brush. An 8 round. Is this going to work? Or is it? Yeah, that's will work. Okay. I'm going to use primary blue. I'm just going to get a little bit of water on my brush just to loosen the brush itself. So, determine which way you want your top, which way you want your bottom. No, I like it. I like it this way. Okay. And then kind of just do this and that. Sort of like a seagull, but with one really, really long wing. And you can have it come out more if you want. It doesn't have to be so in the corner. It's up to you. And then you just sort of fill it in. I do this to get the edges I like. Now I will say, notice your dimples, and remember to dab into them. To fill them. Thank you. We're already halfway done with it. Not really, but yeah, sort of. Okay, then I'm gonna want my brilliant red. And you're just gonna come out kind of in a almost a triangular form, I guess, as you're coming down. And just and remember, if you have dimples, a lot of dimples on your rock, there's a technique where you use spackle to fill in all those divots. We did discuss that last week. Whoops. Oh well, this one's just going to be a little bigger. That's fine. So go, ooh, that was almost bad. I almost went into the blue instead of the red. So if you'd like to view that, that is available on last week's video. It will be making the progression over to YouTube soon. I know I haven't moved any of the other videos. I was kind of busy setting up a new YouTube channel for something else. So I haven't quite gotten everything over that I need to get over yet. And that is my bad. I've been kind of behind lately. Quarantine time, right? My clock goes by quarantine time. So I don't understand deadlines anymore. Okay. So it kind of looks like this. That's sort of the base coats. You can do a second layer of blue if you want a more vibrant blue. That is up to you. I'm not going to, but I just thought I'd tell you. Okay, so now we're through with this brush. Remember to shape it. Now we're going to take our 4 and we're going to start on the sides with the different colors. So I'm going to take the red, and I'm just going to, and it doesn't have to be all the way, just sort of occasionally. This also kind of stops me from being able to bring it too far down, so that's kind of nice. Because it doesn't slide, so I can't just pull it down to look at it real fast, which is a blessing and a curse, but you know, whatever. Alright, and then rinse your brush. And dry it. And then get the blue. And do the same for the blue. And remember to include the white spots, like these white lines, as well, so that it looks like there was actually lines there too. There we go. And you're just going to keep layering throughout the whole thing. See how I did multiple layers? You can see the red, but then you can see white, you can see blue. That's what you're going to do for the whole line. So next I'm going to do blue up here. And the blue you kind of want to bring, hi cat, you kind of want to bring from, my cat keeps interrupting me apparently. You want to bring it from inside where the blue lines are. This is why I kind of say, you know, wait to do the recolor. If you're going to recolor this more blue, wait until you've done that line so that you can kind of pull it from it. Same with the red. If you have a wish to redo your red, just wait until now to redo it. So that when you're doing these lines, they look more like they came from within it instead of were just added after. And I'm doing these parts of the red first just so that I can do the lines through. Because with the white you don't want to accidentally do that. Alright, and now for the white stuff. You're going to let it dry for a second because if you don't let it dry, it's never going to. So while that dries, I'm going to work on this one, which is this rock. So I'm going to take my blue, I'm going to essentially, which side do I want top? And I think I want that tight, my top. Just going to make a line across with the blue. This one is another one that if you're not good at eyeballing it, I would suggest doing all these lines in pencil first. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of outline them in marker just to save time. And again, my red is going out. Not what I wanted. And with these, again, you don't have to have them perfect. So, like, the lines don't have to be perfect, so don't, like, feel like it's ruined if your lines go a little cattywampus. It's okay. It will be okay. Alright, so now I've done that outline. This other one should be dry now, so I can go back to it. Try and keep that in screen. This is very difficult to stay visible. Okay. So now we're doing the same thing we did with the blue and the red, but with white. To kind of lighten it. And I'm using titanium white. And that same 4-inch brush. And again, when you get to the white areas, make sure to pull from within their color bracket area. So it looks like it's coming from the inside of it, not just outside. So interesting trivia time. Do you know only 2 men signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776? Charles Thompson and the infamous John Hancock were the only 2 men who signed it on July 4th. Everyone else signed it over the course of the next month. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so now that we have those done, we can work on all the stars and things that are in it. And that will be our fine liner. So we take our white and just sort of do little stars every now and then. They don't have to be perfect. Promise. And yes, I'm using the cheaty way of making a star by just doing the outlining. And then I'm going to add dots. Back to our dotting techniques, everybody. And most of this is I'm just trying to show you different techniques of what you can do. So like here we're going to do those fun dotting techniques we did when we did those mandalas. And it's just going out. You can also do it going in. So make this one bigger. Then make one a little smaller. A little smaller. Tiny. I'm going to add some stars. Because I like stars. Ta-da! And you've gotten all the hard part done. Now it's just about writing. Alright, and I'm going to use a pen again just to save time. Don't feel it is necessary to use a pen. Always test your pens on like a sheet of paper or something. Because they won't always write. I really need to get more of these pens. I mean, it has been over a year since I bought them. This is another reason you want to make sure you don't have dimples on your rock, because it will catch if you use a pen, and paint will go everywhere. It's so fun. And you can write whatever you want. I'm just going to write We the People because I really like that. And I feel like right now, especially, we really could use some We the Peopling. I will say, when I did this rock earlier, I thought I had misspelled people, because when you look at a rock, or when you look at a word too long, you start to think you're misspelling it, even though I knew I wasn't. I was like, no. I know how to spell people. Ta-da! Rock's done. So there goes our example rock. Alright, now back to this guy. Hopefully we have enough time to finish it, since we have 6 minutes left. Alright, so now we're going to fill in this part with the red. Like I said, I just traced it out with a pen. You can use a pencil. I just don't have my pencil in here, so I'm using pens. Which is terrifying, right? Because, like, what if you mess up? If you mess up, you can always make it better. Trust me, there's always ways to fix rock. Worst comes to worst, wash it off. Start over. But there's always ways. I have messed up so many rocks. Even on camera. There are quite a few times that I've done these on camera and messed them up. Can she do it? This is always the questions I ask myself at the end. I'm like, can I finish this in 5 minutes? Am I that fast at this? We might not get to glitter it, but I will kind of briefly go over what I would have done. And we may not get to this firework, but I'm pretty sure you can kind of figure out how it's supposed to work. It's just lines coming out. Start with your darkest color, go light. It's that simple. Alright, so now this is the hardest part of this rock, right here. It's kind of outlining where the actual white part is going to go. I don't know what you're talking about. This has nothing to do with a copyrighted character. This is solely to do with a rock. Yeah. Gotta be careful with Disney. Disney's very, Yes, good way of putting it. Should have been. Yeah, gotta be very careful with Disney being Disney. So did you know there's actually something on the back of the Declaration of Independence? No, it's not a treasure map. I know. I was disappointed too. It upside down across the bottom, it just says Original Declaration of Independence dated 4th of July, 1776. I know. Not as exciting as it could be, right? I really like this Lazy Susan thing. It's very helpful when you're trying to do these edges and not get your hands covered in paint. Now, if you don't like all these lines on yours, just take some water and very lightly kind of rub through the lines and it will buff them out. But if you go too deep, you will mess up your base coat, so be careful. Hey, whew. Can I do this last one? I doubt I can. I'm going to try, though. We're going to try. We're going to see. But I highly doubt it. So we're going to do dark first. Dark. And we're going to go red. Eee. So just kind of arch them down as you do them. Wherever your bottom is. I don't think it's going to dry in time for us to do the white. You want to make sure it's fully dried. But then you just put white, and then I would just sprinkle glitter over it. And I use a dual system, so I'll put it, my rock in here, sprinkle, and then if I have a second rock, I'll use the excess in here. And I use a brush to brush it off of the areas I don't want it on. So I will see y'all next week. We're going to be doing vegetable buddies. It's going to be exciting. I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July and a great week. And remember to share and like our page. Bye, everybody.